Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Austin Taylor and most of you guys know me as ATV. And this is my story, to the best of my memory. I was born in August of 1998 at the medical center in my hometown of Macon, Georgia. My mother's name is Wendy and my father's name is Brad. They both met in the early 90s and got married on April Fool's Day, 1995.
Ordained of God in the Garden of Eden in the midst of the most sacred surroundings, and has been sanctioned by the Apostle Paul to be honorable among all men.
On Thanksgiving Day 1997, my parents officially found out that they were having their first child. Me. And there I was, my whole life ahead of myself, ready to take on the cruel world, one day at a time.
Wait a week or two.
Hello, Austin. Hello, Austin. Am I right there? Huh? Yeah, okay. And that's his daddy right there. I hope you don't treat Austin as bad as Chad treats Avery. And that's his mother there.
A sweet mama.
And that's his Nana Quay. And that's his, look around, that's his Nana Daddy.
Wait a minute.
Turn around, look at him, wave. Okay. Then we'll go on around. And that's his Papa Jim right there.
Hi, how you doing?
Wait till I get to you.
Oh, sorry. Hi, how you doing?
Now we'll get back to Austin.
Hey, geez. Avery, look over here.
Come on. You got you some sugar, didn't you?
Has that baby got sweet sugar? Has Austin got sweet sugar?
I think that's sweet. Where's mine, George?
Huh? They went to the gym.
Has Austin got some sweet sugar, Avery?
Avery, tell Papa.
Has Austin got some sweet sugar?
Say he's little.
He got sweet sugar? Mal, he don't want that thing. Big eyes. Big eyes. Well, it's still sleepy. It's still sleepy.
Let him cry just a little bit on that tape. Have you heard him?
Yeah.
He sticks his tongue out in his mouth. Oh.
You want me to leave mine?
You know he might be.
You took the last batch pretty good.
Give him these.
Kind of drops.
I had a pretty normal childhood. A lot of it is pretty much a blur, but that's normal, I think. The oldest memory that I can remember having was being in a car seat in the back of my mom's first Camaro. The radio was playing Without Me by Eminem. So if that was on the radio, it would have to have been at least 2002, making me at least 3 to 4 years of age. I was very much like my father. In looks, traits, pretty much everything else. We are basically the spitting image of each other. It would be my dad to thank for my love for old movies and music.
What's up, man?
There's something weird going on outside, dude. I don't know what it is. These doors. Man, you better lock. Go ahead and lock that thing, man. There's something crazy going on outside. Tell me about it.
The many rides in the truck, just jamming out and laughing all the way. 2002 was also the year my parents split up. This was a strange time for me because I didn't fully understand what was going on. I mean, who could at that age in the first place? But I always felt like I was partially to blame, but I've heard stories from both sides of my parents, so I just pretty much just let it go. But it's still something that's like in the back of my head that just kind of bugs me. So my dad moves out and he gets an apartment with a roommate, a friend of his named Kenny. I remember going over there to visit. My dad's roommate had a drum set and all sorts of other instruments laying about, and I remember he used to give me little guitar picks that I would, for some odd reason, I would call cable guys, which is kind of funny. It would also be the first place where my dad showed me my first horror movie, and that movie being Halloween. I remember being frightened by Michael Myers most of my childhood. I remember my dad would play the Halloween theme song by John Carpenter in his truck, and it would literally make me burst into tears. I was one of those kids who was scared of everything. My dad used to take pretty good pleasure in scaring me all the time, but I'm not mad at him for it. I just I guess it was a way to toughen me up, and it worked, you know. When I mean I was scared of everything, I was scared of pretty much everything. If I went to a family reunion and one of my family members who was missing like a finger showed up, I would literally run to the kitchen and like hide. I have since grown out of most of these fears of mine, while some still remain. No, I'm not still scared of the family member who's missing the finger. He's actually a really good guy. But yeah, I was scared that he had a missing finger. My life moved on and things started to change as I moved from kindergarten to first grade. So now we're getting into about circa 2003. My mom dated around and she had a few boyfriends, some of which I actually remember. I remember their names, and I kind of could give you a good description of what they looked like. I remember one of them who brought their Xbox over, and I played Grand Theft Auto Vice City for the first time. It seemed that my mom was never really happy with anybody that she dated, and until she just stepped away from dating altogether. And since then, it's just been the two of us. The one trait that I carried from my mom was the attitude. No doubt about it. I had that in spades. And we've been through it all. I'm thankful for the many years that she's put up with me, especially when I can be a bit of a handful, because I know I can be a bit of a handful a lot. I used to always say as a kid that I wouldn't leave my mom. When I'm grown up, I would buy an RV and park it in the driveway and just live there the rest of my life. I was a funny kid. But yeah, I would say stuff like that when I was little.
told you that him and the lion season.
Oh, I like that story. Daniel and the lion's den?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Daniel?
Daniel got killed.
What happened?
Those they got in trouble.
They did?
Yeah, and they got him locked in the lion's den.
So what happened? What did the lions do?
But they barked him.
They barked at him?
Wild.
Ooh, scary. But Daniel did good.
But Grandma got me to the play. That play and it's more wild.
Oh, she took you to the play?
Me and Grandma.
Well, that was a nice thing for y'all to do, wasn't it?
Yeah, I love the play. But my grandma won't take it to. Do you want to see it today? Tomorrow?
Sure.
When I started school, I never really felt that I fit in with anybody. You know, I had my friends, but I could count them on one hand. But I was the weird kid. You know, I talked to myself. I was diagnosed at a very young age with ADHD, and that only made school a lot more difficult for me in terms of learning and in terms of a lot of things. And most, if not all, my teachers, but I had a few that liked me, but most of my teachers really disliked me because of my radical behavior. But I couldn't help it, you know. I mean, there were cases where obviously I could help it, but I was on medication off and on until I quit altogether by the time I entered middle school. I was on Adderall for a long time. It was bad. Because when you would take Adderall, it would literally just make you a zombie. Because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to make kids with hyperactivity disorders to focus. And every time I took it, I would physically remember sitting in class, just kind of like zoning off into whatever it is we were doing. Yeah, so I didn't really particularly like taking medication all the time. I just stopped after a while. That's why you can kind of see it sometimes when I don't realize I'm doing certain things. Either it's tapping or moving around a lot, or I don't know, just weird tics that I've seemed to have carried along with me. These specific problems costed me a lot. I remember my first grade year doing it in 3 different schools, because if my memory's right, I specifically remember that. I did second grade twice in 2 different schools. I even remember the schools' names. Like, I could pick them all out. I just kept getting pulled out of schools and pulled out of schools and put in new ones a lot during the early times when they really couldn't figure out a way to control me. Yeah, I did a lot of school hopping in my first and second grade years. In 2006, my dad remarries. His wife at the time already had 2 sons of her own. My 2 stepbrothers, who I'll just remain nameless. But I went to the wedding. And it was so weird. It was such a weird thing, knowing that your father had remarried. You know, at the time, I was a kid, you know. I was only, 8? I was only 8 years old. So, I had just started second grade around this time, and I went to summer school for the first time, and it certainly wouldn't be the last. I take a second trip through that hellhole after I finished third grade as well. I was a really bad kid, okay? Funny story though, just a quick story. I in 4th grade, a friend of mine I got really mad at one day. Something had got under my skin and really annoyed me. So I put thumbtacks in his chair. So instead of sitting in the chair like a normal person would, he sinks his knee into the chair, and like 3 or 4 thumbtacks get stuck into his kneecap. And yeah, I got in some big trouble for that. I think I got out school suspension. I've been in so many things. Out school suspension, in school suspension. I've seen it all. I've done pretty much all of that. I was a bad kid, okay? I had issues. My grandmother's name was Yvonne, and she was my rock. We did everything together. We went to the movies, museums, parks, the local fair, plays, and many other crazy things. She would also bring my cousin Colin along with me sometimes, making the trip the more fun. I started noticing certain changes in 2008. I was only 10 years old at the time, and I was in 4th grade. I remember my family was very secretive about everything, like they didn't want me to worry, I guess. I started noticing things when her face had broken out, like into these rashes, like all along her face. And I was like, because I didn't know what to make of it, but I saw all these little breakouts over her face. That's how it started, and then she went to the hospital, and then she was gone, just like that, within like a week or two of, at least a week or two, probably less. I even remember the last time that I saw her. I would typically stay the night at their house on Sunday nights, and my mother would pick me up in the morning to take me to school. I remember walking down the hallway and peeking into her bedroom. She was laying on her side, facing the door, and she was fast asleep. And that was literally the last time that I saw her. And the next thing that I hear is that she's in the hospital. I really wanted to go and see her, really bad. I still wanted to go and see her, but I later found out that she just didn't want me to see her in that way, which I understand now. But yeah, she was gone maybe a week or so later. It was cancer. I remember going to the funeral, and it felt like a nightmare that wasn't going to end. I had never seen my family so torn and broken before. My grandfather Bob, I had never seen cry before until that day, and I wish I never wanted to see that. But that was the one and only time I ever saw him cry, and for good reason. But yeah, that was her. That was my grandmother.
That's the work of art, and I just call her by her name, 'cause I'm praying for her every day, that the Lord will write His name upon her heart. Somewhere in the course of this life.
I remember it's because it's the chair. It's always been the chair. That's what I remember, right by the chair. And it's gotta be one of these here on the end, I think. Yeah, it's gotta be that one over there.
Yeah, it's in the middle.
Yep, okay. Yeah, they should be in place. There's Mama. It does, yeah. Yeah, it's dirty too. There's a flag in there and everything.
What are you doing in here? I'm kind of in the shower right now. Okay. Welcome to ATV.
By the time I graduated 5th grade, during the ceremony, I sat with my classmates. I never would usually be present at these award ceremonies because I would never get anything in the first place. The principal goes up on the microphone and she says something along the lines of, the next award goes to somebody who always has something interesting to talk about. I know she said more than that, but that was literally all that I could remember. And then she said my name, Austin Taylor, and I couldn't believe my ears. I was like, did she really just say my name or was I imagining it? The room erupted in applause as I walked up to the stage. She gifted me this little green flashlight that had my name engraved on it, which I have since lost. I don't know where it is, but it was a nice touch to leaving elementary school, I suppose. And from there, I moved on to middle school. In 2011, I made my YouTube channel officially, but I wouldn't post on there for another 2 years. But the account went under a different name. The channel was under, it was called the TAYLW1. Very rememberable, right? I was only 13 at the time, and I really didn't know how to change my channel name, so I just kind of left it that way for a while, even when I started posting. In 2012, my dad divorces his other wife, after also having a son with her a couple years prior, my brother Madison. I don't see him as often as I'd like to, but...
Hi, my name's Tony, and I'm your world's first #1 lawnmower rider. Can we see some of your tricks that you can do on a lawnmower? Okay, sure, why not? Yeah, let's do that. Alright everybody, this is what I like to call the dead body.
It still blows my mind to see how much he's grown up. Middle school for me had its moments in the sun, but it was mostly forgettable. I was going through body issues, I was embarrassed by my weight, and I would hide it in any way I could. I would even press my binder against my torso to hide it. Everyone always asked me, you know, Austin, aren't you hot? And, you know, I'd love to look at them and go, yes, I was very hot. But I was just embarrassed of the way I looked at the time. I've gotten a lot more comfortable with it now as I've aged, but it was a real issue that I dealt with, and I still deal with to this day. It was around this time when I started uploading on my YouTube channel. And I uploaded the cringiest first video to start off the channel with.
Hey guys, I'm Austin Taylor. Welcome to my new YouTube channel. ATV, the TAYLW1. I'm gonna start uploading videos back and forth, so get ready.
I'm just 14 years old, little to no puberty at all, the most squeakiest voice you've ever heard, on my brand new iPod 5th generation at the time. And I was just like, hey guys, welcome to ATV, and we're gonna this is my new channel. And it was real bad. It was really cringe, but it's cute to look at now, because knowing that was me, you know, almost 10 years ago now. My first year on YouTube was pretty embarrassing, to say the least. and pretty embarrassing to look at today, especially the footage. But
So let's start with you. Well, when I found out that my house was robbed by 2 of our family members, it caused me to have serious stress issues. And when I mean we, I mean me, went out and looked for them. I'm looking. Oh, hi there. Didn't see you sneak up on me. I'm going to teach you guys how to rob a house successfully and mentally. First, to get inside the door, you need one of these. It's called a fork or a spork. Hey guys, you're at the front door now. Now, you must take your spork or your fork and you insert it in the keyhole. Like so. You jiggle it a little bit and then ta-da! What you need to do is you get yourself a bag, a plastic bag, and you open up the kitchen drawer that has the silverware in it. You take all the silver. Show. That would be awesome. We would probably get censored back and forth.
it was more for my personal entertainment than anybody else's at the time. But it was only just the beginning.
Hi, is this Greg and Beverly?
This is their son.
Yeah, I'd like a double cheeseburger and some fries and a large Diet Coke, please.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Who's this?
I'm a customer.
A customer for what?
McDonald's.
They told me to contact you.
Hey, McDonald's.
It's not?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
After barely graduating middle school, I moved on to high school. I made one of the biggest mistakes of my life during this time, and I still regret it to this very day. I dropped out of high school. I still wish I could have gone back in time to try and fix all that, but I can't. During this time, I was putting, all of my focus into YouTube videos.
I'm just doing the best I can with what I got.
What was that for? This ain't even the trail. Where you going?
I would learn from my failures and do them better and better every time. I did a few short films. I started a series with my dad and my brother Madison. It was called BAM TV. This series would also give birth to one of my best characters that would change my life. Lemon. Lemon was literally created by accident. My dad's girlfriend at the time used to put salt on a lemon and eat it at the restaurants that we would go to. Toward the end of the dinner, I decided to put that same lemon in my mouth and wear it as teeth. As we continued to sit there, it became more and more hilarious. And when we left, I decided to take the lemon home with me. It became some weird joke where I'd put it in, act like a weird friend, and we were really just kind of pushing ideas out of our ass at the time. But then on the way home, we made this funny storyline about the annoying friend who wouldn't leave you alone. That's where the overly attached friend thing came from.
Women, get out! Get out!
And we did the whole first season of Lemon, on that series, BAM TV, until I took it and, did my thing with it. But, yeah. From 2015 to 2016, it was pretty much the same. I tried my hand at all sorts of different kinds of content, from movie reviews to reactions to vlogs to conspiracy videos. to Omegle pranks, to taste test videos, challenges, gameplays, and so much more. I also had a Vine account, and I would post pretty frequently on that as well. I made a few good ones.
Oranges. When you realize that the hottest girl is going out with you. Don't you hate it when vines just run away from you? No, wait, no!
In early 2016, my dad found out that I had dropped out of high school, and he was not happy about it. I had lied to him for all this time, because he would ask, I guess he would ask, you know, how I was at school, and I'd say it was fine, it was fine, it was fine. But little did he know that I wasn't going, you know, because I had dropped out. And I knew that it would catch up with me eventually, and of course it did. He was mad about that for a very long time. I still don't think he really ever got over it. You know, I never asked. And he stopped making videos with me for a while, which I understand. I understand now. At the time, I was upset, but respectively so, he had every right to be upset. And yeah, I just finished building it. It took forever, but this is now the new official ATV Studios. But here's the new set. How do you like it? I built it myself. I even got my little hand here that hold my hat. In 2017, I decided to try and get my GED. I attended these classes at a college, and I spent at least a year there, only to not finish in the long run. So more time wasted. And that's another regret. But it was just going nowhere. I was literally moving at a snail's pace there, and I was getting nothing accomplished, and I just felt pointless. In early 2018, I got a nice expensive camera and laptop after I inherited some money, because if I was going to make better content, I needed to upgrade my gear, because I couldn't upload from my phone anymore. It was just not practical. This would add a lot more quality to my videos and making them much, much more professional. Even after many, many failures, I kept going. During this time, I tried picking other hobbies. One of them was painting. I would take all of my anger and frustration out onto a canvas, and I always had different results. And I thought that they weren't perfect, but they still told a story in a way. I also tried my hand at photography for a little while, which I was pretty good at, but it got too difficult, so I stopped doing that altogether too. In July of 2018, I gave my YouTube channel a rebranding by changing the name from the TAYLW1 to just ATV Studios. The channel name has been changed for two reasons. Reason number one, it's the actual name of my studio and quote-unquote company. And reason number two, I'm so damn tired of people mispronouncing my channel name.
The Taylor. The Tay.
The Tay W1.
The Tay.
The Tay?
A1W1.
The Taylor 1.
You see? And from then on, I went by ATV Studios, which was a lot easier name, which is a much easier name to remember. And the name would stick and stay to present day.
So that means when I get back from the trip at the end of the week, I can do the one chip challenge.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's gonna be. The chip is completely black. It's hotter than the last one chip challenge. It's like
what's with the
Carolina Reaper, just the one chip.
Yeah.
Oh! It sounds like a moped. I think it was the rice and chicken from lunch.
God damn.
Halfway through 2018, I would meet the best group of people I could ever ask for. My channel wasn't doing anything anymore. My most popular video had maybe 3,000 views, and I had roughly like 130 subscribers at the time. I started watching another YouTuber who went by the name D-Crack. I liked his Angry Grandpa reaction videos, and Angry Grandpa needs no introduction, I believe. He's one of my favorite YouTubers, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have met, you know, some of my best friends. I started chatting with D-Crack on his live streams. He would be working in a guard shack at the time and taking reaction requests for donations. I donated and requested a few of my videos that I was real proud of, one of them being Roulette, which is a stupid little short film that my cousin and I did together.
So guys, ATV Studios wants me to check out his video, Roulette. So we're gonna check that out. He donated a $5 super chat. So guys, this is by ATV Studios or Films. They donated, so maybe go check out their channel if you want. That was a pretty intense video. That's why, right there is why I would never play that game. Yeah, but man, that video was put together pretty well. I liked all the different like camera shots and angles and stuff.
And I had no idea at the time that he would be one of my best friends later on in life. In the live chat, I would meet other people that I still can call a really close friend today. I also met a few enemies during this time, but we won't acknowledge them and give them the spotlight in any way, shape, or form. It's not important anyway. It's just a waste of time. In 2019, I went on my first ever faraway trip by myself to meet two of my closest friends, Steven, aka MFF Gaming, and David, aka D-Crack. After a handful of chats from his live streams and eventually joining his streams and becoming a co-host with my other friend Steven, it's like we've been best friends for 20 years by then. It had only been a year. That trip was a moment in time that I never ever want to forget. I got to experience some amazing things with my friends. I flew a plane for the first time, went to my first Sabres game, got drunk at a strip club and called out my love for a chick named Blair, which we won't talk about. I have nothing but gratitude for all of them. We created a community together called the Yesh Mob. We even had our own emojis of our faces during the live streams. We made something amazing, and I thank God that I got to be a part of that. These guys aren't just friends, they're family. They saved my life, and I would take a bullet for every one of them. So yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. Yesh Mob forever. Yesh.
My God, look! Dude, that's so creepy. That's so freaking creepy, dude. You look ridiculous.
I know I look ridiculous.
David, put this one on.
Weird.
Get the fuck out of here, I'm stuck.
And then the year 2020 rolls in. A year we would never forget. I'll admit, I was dumb about the whole thing at first, but none of us knew what to do at the time. we were actually planning to do another get-together, meet up with some friends before COVID hit. And we were a week away from buying plane tickets, and then everything just shut down. It was a weird feeling just having everything shut down. You know, everybody was wearing masks, everybody had gloves, everybody was just being overly protective over themselves. It was just a weird time. It was a strange year in my life, needless to say. I used to film all of my videos and do live streams during this time in a storage room outside. About a year ago, I then started the process of moving everything out of that room and into this room, making this room my room/studio. In July of 2020, I wrote a script for a short film with my friends Steven, David, and John. We created this story for my character Lemon because I wanted to do something kind of like a film. I hadn't directed anything in a while. The last thing I did was 2 years ago. It was a documentary about my grandfather Stan, and I wanted to do a thing where I directed again, and we called it Lemon Spooky Adventure.
Like real life, you're not gonna push me hard, but
rolling.
Fall on the ground or just back up.
Just kind of like, ugh.
All right.
Rolling.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I gotta remember. Move. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, go. Come towards. Okay. You can cut that. Although it's a very iffy movie for me, it has its moments. You know, it has its moments that I still laugh at to this day, and it's still one of my favorite films that we worked on, because it was just put together with so much love and creativity. Even though it wasn't the best thing ever made, it was still really fun to do. It was crazy because we had finished the first draft of the script in like 3 days. And we already had a deadline because it was July, and I knew I wanted to have it done and released by Halloween of that year. So I immediately got to work on the project. After many reshoots, cancellations, rewrites, and many, many other things, the film wrapped on October 15th, 2020, and was released on the 31st. It's still to this day, you know, one of my most favorite projects. It was a bitch to shoot. It was a pain in the ass to make, and there's no doubt about that, but it was so fun. It was so fun. I'd do it again. I really would. In December of 2020, I got my first job. It was a night shift stocker at a local grocery store. It was a simple job for what it was. It didn't require a lot of effort. All you had to do was show up and just, you had to unload trucks, unload the pallets, take the product off the pallets and put it on the shelf, clean the floors, clean, and that was it. But it had its moments, you know, where I didn't like it. You know, I made some friends there. I also made some enemies there, like everywhere I go. Like, I can't help but taking enemies and friends everywhere I go. I worked there for almost a year until I was fired in late 2021. I'll just say this. I was thrown under the bus by some other employees who I trusted, because it wasn't my fault. You know, I know that's what they all say. It wasn't my fault. But I had issues with some of the employees, and they were getting in the way, and I wasn't getting along with the daytime manager at the time. I also feel like she was doing some illegal stuff behind the scenes, but we won't dwell into that. But it was a fun job while it lasted. It had its moments, but unfortunately it was overshadowed by all the bad moments that happened there.
Holy
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Fuck you, 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 fuck you. After I lost my job, I became a little depressed for a little bit. I started drinking here and there. Then my cousin Colin introduced me to marijuana. I first tried it in Buffalo in 2019, and it did nothing. Absolutely nothing for me. Then in 2021, I tried edibles for the very first time. It would be at that moment where I experienced horror for the very first time. If I die, this is what it looks like. Focus.
This is a poggers.
I remember I had a notebook and I was just freaking out. I was like, I couldn't write my own name. I was like drawing these crazy little doodles, and I had issues with my shoulders. They wouldn't stop shrugging. They kept just going up and down, up and down, up and down.
You're live.
Am I?
Yes.
Look, okay, Austin, pay attention. Look, my muscles, they're contracting, and I can't control them or stop them. Please, stop. When you realize you have control, it stops.
Yeah, that's it.
No, stay. I'm good.
It was still probably one of the worst experiences I had ever been on any substance, and yeah, and that kind of put a wedge between me and edibles, because that was the first and last time I ever did that. I tried marijuana again while I was working at the grocery store, and again it was the same results. It was almost the exact same freak out I had on the edibles. I would get so stoned and be on aisle 5 and not knowing if I did any work or not, and maybe that's how I was fired. When my cousin Colin went to live with his biological mom's house for a little while, I'd see him almost every night, and almost every night I was either smoking, drinking, or doing a combination of both. If you're going to ask me if it helped or worsened my state of mind, I would tell you both, to be honest. Should be good, right? 30 minutes. Guys, look at this. These are 2 journal entries. I did this one at 4 o'clock in the morning and this one at 10 p.m. So this is the same day. If you can see that, this is the same day. This is the same f***ing day. Isn't that f***ing crazy, dude? What the f***? There were days where I was happy and having a real good time. And then there will be times I'd black out or totally freak out. I started thinking about a lot of scary things, including death. Not in the way you're thinking, but more or less the inevitable death. It physically scared me. How you doing? What am I doing? Because I don't know anymore. I'm scared. Okay, excuse my hair, but the plan tonight is, hopefully if everything works out, I'm gonna go buy some weed from a dealer. You know, I have this cigarette pack that had like 2 little roaches in it, but now it's just got my little filters in it. We got food, got crystals. I want to eat it right now, but he's not going to make me eat it right now because they're for people that are hungry. But I'm hungry. I'm going to eat the whole thing if we don't get home quick. We're getting drinks, right? Is this what we're doing? Getting drinks?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would do these drinking contests with my friends online, just pounding one after another, and losing complete control of everything.
Well, it's Saturday night. It's time to start the night off right. I've already hit the Delta pen. I'm good and a little stoned. And I also got some beer. So this is my table. Got my beer, got some water. Ooh, pardon my chair. I got this. I got this, which is broke, but I have more juice over there. And I got a Delta pen. I even have a joint, but I'm gonna save that for another night. MF needs to get on a call. MF needs to get on a call. MF needs to get on a call. Oh wait, we're still.
I don't think we're playing right now, Andrew. What?
Did I leave? I left. I left the game.
Oh, he's playing some. He just playing by. He's guessing his own work.
Hey.
Someone would steal my bike. Some homeless guy. That's my bicycle.
Hey, Andrew, I gotta ask you a really important question, okay? Are you the Bud Light Wizard? Are you the Bud Light Wizard?
I remember one specific night where I drank, I don't know, maybe 9 beers. I really don't know. And I totally turned into a whole different person. I turned into an absolute douche.
Thing, whatever the you call it.
A pee-pee? You put it on your pee-pee?
Welcome when we're singing loud. What?
What?
What? What?
What?
What do you want?
Austin. It's Blair. Oh, Austin.
Blair right now, dude.
Hey, what's up? No, I'm not. I was just filming. I was just filming a video.
Yeah, we hit TikTok just for Austin's drunk rage. he only ever posts on it when he's drunk.
I have these composition notebooks that I guess you could call them journals. They were mostly random words of jumbled ideas and insane thoughts whenever I was either drunk or high, depressed, scared, or anything else in between. I filled 3 composition notebooks in just over 4 years. And here they are. Just to give you a little bit of idea of how dark it got. It got real dark. I don't even like opening these books anymore because they just take me back to a time that I want to forget. But I can't, I've thought about burning these, but then at the same time I feel like what good would that do, It's kind of best to just keep them as like a memory, as something to look back on, but yeah. In February of 2022, I started to have strange panic attacks out of nowhere. I haven't ever been so afraid in my entire life up until that point.
So I'm at the hospital. I'm not a patient, but I'm just here with my mom because I'm too scared to stay home by myself. Had another attack today. I took a Xanax and it's sort of working, but I gotta find me some new medication because these attacks just keep coming. It's scaring the hell out of me, I don't look so good either. I look like I go to the doctors on Monday, so fingers crossed for some good news.
I quit smoking altogether at this time, and I decided to try and have a little bit of a healthier life. I later found out that it was the Delta 8 that I was smoking that caused it, but the fear would remain. It would remain in the back of my head to this very day. For the next 6 months, I stopped smoking. My doctor put me on some weird medication for my anxiety and depression, and it helped when it helped, but I didn't need to be on it. But I continued to drink, I remember. I stopped drinking for a while because they said you're not allowed to drink on the medication. So I did. I stopped for a while, but then I would start taking one every other day. This is how my mind is. I would take one every other day, and the day that I did not take one, I would drink like a bunch. I don't know if that helped me in any way. I know it didn't help, but I did it anyway. I would still upload content to my channel, but it was starting to become obvious that I lost the passion of making videos. I was running out of ideas. I was depressed. It was just a weird time period. It got to the point where I would only upload maybe 1 to 3 videos a month. The inspiration was gone. I was a shell of who I once was as a person. I was simply lost.
Oh shit. You have to excuse me, I look like a crazy up mess right now. Oh, God. How do I even explain this on camera without crying? So, it's Christmas, and it's not been a good Christmas. Just a lot has been going on. I just casually texted my 2 friends, David and Steven, MF Gaming and D-Crack, and I just casually said Merry Christmas just for the sake of saying Merry Christmas. And then all of a sudden I started listening to some Christmas music, and I got pretty emotional. And then what really kind of touched my heart was getting their text messages back saying Merry Christmas. I don't know why. It's just because it's so silly, but I got touched by them texting me just saying Merry Christmas. I gotta stop. But I love you guys with all my heart.
In August of 2022, I started smoking again. A few months after that, I announced that I would be taking a much-needed break from YouTube to focus on my mental health. For the next few months, I would upload silly short videos, but nothing too serious. I felt like I was slowly fading away. My mental health would only go up and down, through the time I was off, because I was still smoking and I was still drinking. I didn't really care what it was doing to my health or mental state. During this long time off, I focused my time on writing more. I ended up writing a ton of material that you may never see, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It exists somewhere. When I came to the realization that every day is one more day closer to death, I was honestly scared. I was scared of how it would feel, how it would happen. Then it just hit me with even more questions like what comes after. As a Christian, I have my faith, but there's always that thought in the back of your head, but yet life moves on.
Austin, Austin, Austin. Austin, 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 Austin.
It's 2023 now. I will be turning 25 years old this year. I'd like to say I'm doing a lot better now. I still smoke currently, but I plan to break that habit along with all the other bad ones. I feel inspired again. I feel happy again. I mean, we're coming up on 10 years since I started uploading on YouTube.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to ATV, the 10th episode extravaganza. Woo! I can't believe it. 10 episodes already.
Like, that's insane. It's a big deal. It's a really insane number to think about. I've learned a lot during all this time. Met a lot of people. Saw a lot of amazing things. My life always felt like a movie that was being shot through the lens of a camera. Like, it always felt that way to me. I remember as a kid, when I would go to school, I would imagine that there was always a make-believe camera on me at all times. I don't know why I did that, but that was a real thing that I did. And I still do to this day. It's just something that you kind of keep it from your childhood. And I've done it ever since. It's weird, but it's something that I always did as a kid. I have a guilty pleasure of entertaining people and making them laugh, because there's nothing that makes me the more happier than to brighten somebody else's day. It's what I live for. It's what gets me out of bed every day. All I know now is this moment is to continue onward with what I love more than anything until the good Lord takes me home. I like to look at it like that. There's no point in cowering in a dark corner somewhere, because then your life would be pointless. You know, you're only gifted one life, and the amount of time that you're blessed with is that time you can create something special. My name is Austin Taylor, also known as ATV. Thank you.